I don't do a lot of, like, topical videos anymore in terms of, like, things that are timely, but since this one is something that I actually care about, I'm going to be talking about the 13th Doctor announcement. And if you don't want to know who the 13th Doctor is from my channel, well, you can go watch the BBC One trailer, or you can try and last until Christmas and be surprised. Good luck with that. Either way, this is your spoiler warning. This is your chance to get out. And I will be talking about this in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so the 13th Doctor is female. She's going to be played by Jodie Whittaker of Broadchurch. I have recently been paying attention to the show specifically because Chris Chibnall, who's going to be taking over as head writer, is a part of it. And my opinion is, like, I don't see anything in any of the acting roles on there that really says Doctor Who to me, let alone the Doctor themselves. But, that doesn't really preclude somebody because it's not the same type of show. But we're less than 24 hours from the announcement, and people have unleashed a torrent of hate towards the BBC, towards Jodie, towards the showrunner, and they're trying to already frame this as though this has nothing to do with the notion that Jodie is a woman, that they have chosen a female lead for the show, and that kind of rings hollow because I've been in the comments sections for Doctor Who videos, and people have been threatening to stop watching Doctor Who if there's a female Doctor since before Missy was revealed to be the Doctor, since before Capaldi was revealed to be the next Doctor, since at least as far back as Matt Smith's announcement. People have been threatening to quit the show because the one thing that they cannot stand in their magical shape-changing aliens is a vagina. Now, there's a question as to whether or not these refusals are actually sincere or even really effective because, you know, we've seen things like Star Wars get boycotted and still do like $600 gazillion. But the reality is that people were protesting a female Doctor before they knew who it was. I don't really, again, know much about this woman in particular, but that's moot because the die was cast before she was. Long before she was, really. And people were adamantly against this based on the principle that she was a woman. I shouldn't even really say principle. The basic premise, the potential that one day the Doctor might be a woman was a point of massive outcry amongst certain groups of Doctor Who fans, and probably a bunch of people who have never watched an episode of either old or new Who in their lives. But here's the thing, they tipped their hand with this whole thing by already objecting to a female Doctor before it even happened, by saying that that alone was the breaking point of the show, not the quality of the writing or the quality of the acting or any of a number of other things that could be used as legitimate critiques against any female Doctor, not just Jodie, but anyone who was cast in the role. They've basically already tainted any possible discourse because they've already said that this was never acceptable. She could be amazing in the role, and that is not good enough because she's a woman. And, you know, you can say that it's not sexist. You can say that you have good reasons for not wanting a female Doctor, and I'm not even going to argue with that because I don't really think it matters, to be honest. You might well have perfectly good reasons, but the minute that you've written off a female Doctor as a viable option, the criticism that comes from that is compromised, because if you've already said that anything that she does will be unacceptable, then nothing she does is going to be up to your standards. And maybe a boycott like this will, like, tank Doctor Who finally, because there have been some rough patches in the last few years and whatnot, but I kind of doubt it given the strength of the teenage girl fandom that's evolved around the modern show. Russell T Davies turned Doctor Who into a romance story, and it's been a romance story the entire time that's captivated teenage girls, and there's been a huge contingent who has largely propped up the show, which is why we keep going back to these same points. But, you know, I could be wrong. This could be exactly what tanks Doctor Who. After a bunch of missteps, after a lot of stuff that fans disliked, this could finally be it. And wouldn't that be an interesting thing, that Doctor Who fans could put up with everything that's happened so far and then completely destroy the show rather than share it with a bunch of icky girls? Now, the next season might be awful. Jodie might be a terrible choice for the next Doctor. I don't really know. I think it's kind of cool that there's a female Doctor coming up, but I don't know that she's going to be a good female Doctor. I don't know if she's going to be a good Doctor, period. But that's also kind of the point. People have already slammed the door on this concept from word one. Even before they knew that she was a woman, they were slamming the door at the idea of a woman. So it's really hard to take a lot of the criticism and complaints seriously. And if you're one of the people complaining, maybe you should take a long, hard look at why. Anyway, that's my lot. Thanks for listening. Amaranth out.